Welcome to On the Last Episode, the podcast for English learners who like movies and series. Here you can improve your English and have fun with our episodes and exercises. This is episode number 12. Kiefer Sutherland, the only survivor, with our host Jennifer. This podcast is brought to you by OLC Club, your language club.
Hello people. So, how's life treating you? Is everything okay? How is the English learning going? And how was your carnival? Well, here, everything's just peachy and a lot of work, but that is good. So today, we are going to talk about Designated Survivor. It is a new series that started the end of last year, and now in March they're going to release the second half of the first season. And if you are in US, you will be able to watch that on TV, but if you are outside USA, you can watch it on Netflix because they have the rights to the series outside USA. Okay, and it is, can I say, an amazing series? Probably, yeah, but maybe it does not start amazing, but then it becomes amazing. So let me just focus here. One of the main reasons why I chose to watch Designated Survivor without even thinking twice is because of the main character. The main character is played by Kiefer Sutherland, and ever since watching 24 Hours, I became a huge fan. So when 24 Hours ended in 2007 or 8, I was pretty sad, and then I know they brought back 24 twice after that, and yeah, we will talk about 24 Hours because the new 24 Hours is back without Kiefer Sutherland. But well, coming back to Designated Survivor, when I saw Kiefer Sutherland was playing, I said, well, if he's in the series, it has to be good. Because after 24, he also did a series called Touch, and I have no idea why they canceled it after just 2 seasons. I love that series. It was refreshing, because it was very different from the things you were seeing back then. That was in 2013, 14, I think, that it came out, Touch. But so let's focus on Designated Survivor. So what is this all about? What is a designated survivor? So imagine this picture, okay? On the night of the State of Union address. So this is a day where the President of the United States is in Capitol Hill with everyone, and he talks to everyone. There is a big explosion and everyone dies. So this is how basically we start. Everyone is dead, but the designated survivor. So this is a person that they usually would choose at random, or maybe they had a list. And this person in this day is put in a safe place so that if something bad happens, there is at least one person who can lead the country. And this is what happens in that day. I mean, you have Kiefer Sutherland, he plays in this series, his name is Tom Kirkman. And the problem with Tom Kirkman is that he was like number 14 on the succession line. He was the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. So he was not exactly someone you would expect to become the president of the United States. But on that night, he was the designated survivor, and because everyone was dead, he was rushed into swearing and but he becomes the president the same night everyone dies. There is where the story starts getting interesting, but at the same time, for the first episodes, you were not so sure what to think of the series, because you have this amazing actor, but the character seems very weak. He doesn't seem to be a leader at all. And well, from what we can see on those first episodes, it doesn't seem like he wanted to have power. He was not looking for it. And he also doesn't seem to have a lot of ambition. And then, especially after the first and second episodes, you go like, okay, so what are they doing here? This guy has this amazing potential, the actor, and they're not using it. And you see this random guy, all of a sudden he has all that power, but he was not prepared for it. But then as the story develops, I mean, yeah, the first season is not even finished yet, but you can already see how they develop the character, maybe a little bit slower than me and a lot of people would have liked to see. But I mean, if you think about it, imagine the guy was like really down on the succession line. He never thought he had a chance of becoming the president, especially not like that. And all of a sudden, he's the president. I guess with any person, it would be, I guess, a little bit like, well, would be reacting like he is. I mean, he was unsure of what to do, what people expected of him, and he avoided making some decisions, especially in the beginning. And then you get like really anxious about, oh my God, what is he going to do? Because it cannot go on like this. But then he starts becoming more confident, and you start thinking, so maybe he likes power after all. He was just playing along or something, or he just never thought about it. But now that he has it, he enjoys it. So I really like the way he is developing, and also the way the story is developing, because in the beginning I thought it was just going to be another series, a bit like Scandal maybe, that focuses a lot on politics and this struggle for power. Because yeah, I mean, you have this guy, and then we find out there was another person who also survived. She was a senator, I think, and quite a few people wanted her actually to become the president because she had more experience than he had, and she also was more of a leader. But so you see that actually, instead of just focusing on that, we have a lot more going on, like we had in 24 Hours, like we have in Homeland. And as they start digging and looking for reasons or why or how someone could bomb the Capitol Hill like that, you start to see that nothing is what it seems, and no one is what they seem to be. So I like it. Yeah, I like the way they're taking their time to develop the story and the characters. We can see how a lot of them are showing their true colors as the story develops, and some people we thought were good guys or maybe not good guys, and people who don't seem to be like good guys, they actually are trying to do what is right. And so we have in this series the struggle for power as well, of course, because yeah, who wouldn't want to have all that power, right? And there is a point where Kirkman himself, he questions if he is the right person for the job, and if he shouldn't maybe just resign and let someone else take the power. But then he decides that it is his duty to at least try, right? Because the country needs someone, they need a leader. So I guess maybe that's when we start to see him trying to become that leader he thinks people deserve to have. So it's where maybe the focus goes from, oh my god, I'm afraid, to what is the best for the majority. Or maybe he's playing us and he has an agenda. Could be. That would be interesting to see that he has an agenda too. But so just careful here, okay? Because if you have not watched, there are some spoilers coming, because the last episode before the pause was like, oh my god, what is going on? And yeah, they have me and a few people I know like, how could they do that? We have no idea what happened, because on the last episode, just before the long pause, you have a sniper. Well, okay, let me rewind a little bit. The president is, I don't know, he's making a speech in front of the old Capitol Hill. Maybe they are rebuilding it or something, I don't know. That somehow, for some reason, there are a lot of people there, and so you have Kirkman, the new president, and now he has a new vice president too, and we will talk about the story of the vice president in a bit. But then we see this sniper. He's really far away, but he has this amazing gun that even though he's so far away, he can see and has someone at gunpoint, but we are not so sure who it is. And then in the last minute, well, seconds of the last episode we had so far, we hear that he shot the gun. But we have no idea if he was aiming at the president or if he was aiming at the vice president. And we also have no idea if he hit someone. So yeah, I cannot wait for the next episode to come out. I think it will be out now in March, in 1 or 2 weeks. So yeah, I cannot wait for that, because they really left us wanting the information. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the ratings of the coming back will be great. It will be amazing. There will be so many people watching it, because everyone wants to know what happened. How could they do something like this? I mean, just leave us hanging like that. I want to know who was killed or who was hit, and why were they trying to kill either the president or the vice president, or maybe someone else. Because, like I said, as the story develops, we find out that there are a few dirty people maybe who did not die and who probably had something to do with the bombing, or at least passed information to the people responsible for the bombing. And oh yeah, coming back to the vice president. So a few days, I think like 2 days after the bombing, they find a guy in the rubble, and he's alive. And he was, I guess, also a senator or something like this. He was one of the politicians who was there. And no one understands how he was the only one to survive, and especially how he did survive such a bombing. We find out how he survived in this first half of season 1, or at least we think. And so try not to give you guys too many spoilers here, okay? So I will not tell you how he survived. But we are not quite sure why people chose him to survive and what was the point. So the people involved in the bombing, did they choose him to survive because they want him to become the president? Or what is their game? What are they planning? This is one of the big questions that Hopefully they will at least start answering now in the second half of season 1, but I'm not sure because this series seems like it will bring a few surprises, I think, and I like that. I'm just a curious person, so it kills me to wait and see what's gonna happen. So this guy, he survived, and then he becomes a natural choice for Kirkman to become the vice president, and Kirkman has no idea that there's a whole investigation going on behind the scenes, because some people in the FBI, they think it was an inside job, and they find some blueprints and they find some information that shows that someone a few years before did a simulation that was exactly like the explosion. From there, they start digging and they start finding some very horrifying things. And of course, so they get hunted, and we have like glimpses of people who are involved or who might be involved somehow, directly or indirectly, in everything that happened. But at this point, Designated Survivors gives us a lot more questions than answers, and I like when the series does that, because then I guess we get more engaged because we are trying to find the answers. And I just hope they don't do something similar with Lost, because they got lost, and then at some point, or to a certain extent, not giving us all the answers is good, but then finish the whole thing and we still have no idea what was going on, if it was a dream, if they were all dead. So I hope with Designated Survivor they keep this open for interpretation, let's say it like that, but they don't do it for too long, so that they let us make our own conclusions, but still give us enough information for us to be able to do that, not just leave it completely open. But I think it's going to happen. Seems like it. The production is very well done, even though it started very slow. But I think really that they were just giving time for the characters to build, because you can really see how strong Kirkman's wife is, and how her support is important for him and for the family as well, because as you can imagine, it was not very easy for the family to adapt so quickly, right? Especially because he has a teenage son. Teenager, they are trouble anyway, right? But so we will be talking about Designated Survivor again pretty soon, I guess, as soon as they start the show again, even if it's just a small one to say, oh my god, they killed blah blah blah, what does that mean? So as you can see, I can get quite excited about things, and sad and emotional about some others. Like the other day I was watching Collateral Beauty, and I got pretty emotional, but we will talk about it next week, okay? So I will hold on to my tears until next week, and then we can talk all about love and death and time. Okay, guys? So I wish you an amazing week, and talk to you next week on the next episode. Bye bye.